What is up, YouTube? It's Kingfisher745, and we're finally going to cover the X-Men Heroic Battle. As you can see, we have a chance to get the Decimating and Powered ISO weight. This is a character-specific ISO weight for Colossus, and it actually gives him a chance to counter single target or area attacks with Decimate. So that's a pretty decent E-ISO for him. The other great news about this Heroic Battle is the fact that there's 2 more Empowered ISO 8 that you can win. That includes one for Cyclops and Storm. As we begin this battle, you can see that we're facing 3 Brotherhood opponents. They all have a unique passive ability, and they pass it on to their teammates once they're taken out. And it looks like we got pretty bad turn order for this one. But trust me, it still can be beaten, even while using default costumes for all 3. That debuff right there, Hardened Spit, is really annoying because it's basically a stun. It happens if Toad puts 2 stacks of Adhesive Spit on any of your characters. That's something that you'll probably want to be aware of. You can see that our Tactician Cyclops has a shield, and that's because of the Protective and Powered ISO 8, which provides Savant. That can help him take some damage, and of course he will gain tactical maneuvers from Dragoness. Now on Storm's first turn, I like to use Protective Shroud. This will give your team a 50% chance to avoid single target attacks. Trust me, this ability can be a lifesaver. Next, whenever Cyclops gets a turn, I use his Evasive Maneuvers, and this will cause your team to perform a counterattack against the next enemy attack. Then what you'll want to do is use his Exploit Weakness on Toad. This is going to place off balance on him because he is an infiltrator. Then unfortunately our Colossus is stunned, and he won't get a turn. Now we just have to wait and hopefully make it through all these enemy attacks in a row. This is where the Protective Shroud will really come in handy. Also, Dragoness likes to use an AoE attack, and then once she does that, we'll get an extra turn with Cyclops. And in this case, it's also going to cause her to get counterattacked. Evasive Maneuvers is definitely our friend. Oh, and I also should have mentioned it does grant Agile, so a 25% increase to evasion. That's pretty much your best bet for winning this battle. Protective Shroud and Agile. At least evading some of these attacks is pretty necessary if you want to win, especially in the default costumes. Now with this extra tactical maneuvers turn, I'm going to briefly go over all the Brotherhood buffs. First, Dragoness has Brotherhood Pugilist, chance to retaliate when attacking a member of the Brotherhood. I have to say that's pretty odd wording, but basically she has a chance to retaliate when you attack a Brotherhood member. Next, Avalanche has Brotherhood Leadership, chance for members of the Brotherhood to gain an extra turn when they attack. And lastly, Toad has Brotherhood Lackey. He protects Brotherhood members from single target or area attacks, and he has a chance to join in on single target attacks. The only thing I should mention is that Brotherhood Forever grants new abilities to the other members when one is KO'd. I don't worry too much about this, it's always better to eliminate an opponent as soon as you can. But if it's at all possible, you could try to take them all down evenly. Storm and Cyclops both have AoE attacks, so it's kind of possible. My method is take out Toad as fast as you can, and since Dragoness happened to get counterattacked, she'll be next, simply because she's lowest on health. After Toad, I mean. At this point, my whole team is hovering around 50%, but Storm does get a nice dodge, and that's followed up by a Protective Shroud Evade. This is exactly why I cast it first. And not only that, Shockwave misses again because of it. On Storm's second turn, we do have a decision to make. Normally I will use Blizzard, but instead, I'm going to use Tornado this time. It's not something that you have to do, but I do want to grant Wind Wall to all allies. And I don't want to wait just in case. So what this is going to do is absorb damage on each attack. It also applies off balance to all enemies. At this point, Toad is really low on health, only 622 HP remaining. Since that's the case, instead of wasting an attack, I'm going to use a Mega Optic Blast. After KOing one of the Brotherhood, you should see Brotherhood Forever pop up, and then a character-specific dialogue. The problem arises sometimes when it seems like the character doesn't leave when they're supposed to. In this case, Toad does say "no more lightning, please," and then he leaves. Like I said before, next on our list is going to be Dragoness. She has under 1500 HP remaining. Next, I should have just hit Dragoness, especially since she does have flank. But instead, for some reason, I opt for Steel Curtain. I believe the only reason I did that was because he has Big and Fast, and I thought maybe he'll proc it. Unfortunately, I don't think I proc it a single time in this battle. I doubt you'll be in that same position, but if you are, just finish Dragoness, or whoever it happens to be. But hey, I guess I made the fight more dramatic. So now after this next Rain of Fire, we're going to gain Tactical Maneuvers. This time Cyclops should be able to finish off Dragoness. But before I get too confident, he does have Disoriented. That fact alone is going to make me stay away from that level 1, and instead use Exploit Weakness. That way if I do hit my own teammate, I won't do as much damage, and also I won't place flanked on them. And of course that's exactly what happens. We end up hitting Colossus. Now that he's weakened, he's probably going to be KO'd. Especially since he's still protecting with that Steel Curtain. So there he gets hit with a shockwave. And then on top of that, Dragoness is going to join in. So that's probably it for our hero. The only good news is Avalanche does take some damage. And then we're going to have 2 turns in a row. It looks like Avalanche is going to use his Earthquake, the big one. But it does miss Storm because she's a flyer. In a funny twist, it actually finishes his own Dragoness. She calls us X-Jerks and now she's gone, so she will pass on an ability, Retaliation. On Storm's turn we're going to use her level 1 Lightning. I'm also hoping that our Explosive and Powered ISO 8 kicks in, and he does get hit with collateral damage. It's not a lot, but it also places Burning on him. Then he takes his Chain Lightning hit. All we can do with Cyclops is Exploit Weakness, so we're hoping that it's enough. But of course he dodges, he takes his Burning, and he's going to get a couple more attacks. So yeah, this one's going to be pretty close, but we do it with the default costumes. And it was on our first try. The bad thing about this heroic battle is there really isn't a significant tip, or some piece of advice that's going to push you way over the top. All I can really say is the higher level you have these heroes, the better chance you're going to have. Also, if you have any better alternate costumes, that could certainly help you as well. Other than that, make sure you get Protective Shroud off as early as possible, and also that Evasive Maneuvers. Also, you could always try Recovering and Powered ISO 8, which grants Soothing Rest. That seems to be a viable way in many of the heroics. Now moving on to the roulette, I do want to take a look at the other E-ISO. We already saw the Decimating, so next is Storms. This one grants Protective Shroud to your entire team at the start of combat. That's pretty awesome, and I really do want to get that one. I think we can all agree that 50% evasion is amazing. And lastly, Inspiring Leadership provides inspiring leadership to all allies, increasing all stats. That's the only one I've gotten so far. And it looks like we're going to get a pretty worthless item. Well anyways, that's going to be it for this one. I hope it helped, and I want to thank you all for watching. Please like, comment, and subscribe. And until next time, good luck and take care.